So up next, in 1999, you guys released Happiness Is Not a Fish That You Can Catch. Four singles, One Man Army, Annie, Is Anybody Home, and Thief. Debuts at #1, 3 times platinum. When listening to the album, two things really stood out to me. So #1, I found that Rain's vocals sounded the best they've ever sounded. They were upfront, they were warm. There was like this tasty amount of reverb on them. His performance was great, so that stood out. And then also the drums, like I mentioned before, the drums on probably half of the songs on the album seem like they're the lead instrument. Songs like One Man Army, Potato Girl, Thief, Lying Awake, Annie, and Consequences of Laughing. Did you guys feel massive pressure following up the diamond selling Clumsy album with this album? Did you feel like, how do we recreate this?
Yeah, well, I mean, this record, I think it was, well, the cool thing about this record is this is us at our best, just in terms of, because we had toured so much, and as musicians, you know, like this was the first record I didn't have any like difficulty recording. You know what I mean? Like it was like we had our ideas, we went in, it was like, you know, boom, like after 5-6 takes and we're good to go, kind of like that was, you know, fix a couple things and move on. Whereas, you know, the first record was hell, second record was hard but not hell. But this was the first record was like, okay, I feel like come in and, you know, this is what I want to do. And what I wanted to do was pretty complicated. Like in the pre-production, we were really pushing this record to be different and wanted it to be, you know, because Clumsy was so popular, different than that. So I think I kind of took that in personally as a drummer. I was like, well, okay, if this is my opportunity to really stretch out, then let's do that. It's like, so I feel, yeah, there's a lot of busy, crazy stuff on this record, but in my mind, I was like, I love it because, like you said, it is really kind of a lead instrument, because you would never play drums this busy on anything ever. So, but I mean, these songs are not those songs without that kind of that skeleton happening, you know.
With the amount of music that's created globally, it's very hard to have a unique sound. Yet Our Lady Peace sounds like Our Lady Peace. You guys have a signature sound. How important was it to the band to really cultivate that original sound? And like you mentioned on this album specifically, it was very unique.
Yeah, well,
Like,
I think
like One Man Army, like when you hear One Man Army on the radio, I mean, that literally sounds like nothing else.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also I think just I think we really achieved that in terms of like artistically what we were trying to do on that record. We achieved. It's just the opposite happened. We expected it to sell more than Clumsy, but it didn't. It sold like half of what Clumsy did, and that kind of put us in a different spin, you know, in not a great way, because like here we are at our artistic peak by doing a record like that and playing like that, you know, arrangement wise and everything. And it didn't really turn out to be as successful as Clumsy. So more Rain than any of us was probably taken back by that, and in a negative way, you know. And I don't know, in a sense, that kind of, because the success of Clumsy never ever came back in that regard, with exception to Gravity and, you know, some of those singles in America that did a lot better comparatively in a while. So I think that was the first time that and again, I'll say it's more kind of Rain, because he, you know, being the main songwriter and kind of leader, he wanted that, I'm sure, the same success, if not more, than Clumsy. And by that not happening, it kind of started a bit of a tailspin, I think, you know, with where this boat's going, you know.